Living in a big city often feels like a constant battle between convenience and the planet. Every day, you're surrounded by waste, plastic bottles on the street, fast food packaging everywhere, and endless single-use items. But here's the shocking truth: the average person in a city generates about 4.5 pounds of waste every single day. And globally, over 8 million tons of plastic end up in the ocean each year, harming wildlife and ecosystems. So, is low-waste living even possible in a concrete jungle? You might think it's too hard, especially with all the plastic, fast-paced life, and convenience. But it's not only possible, it's becoming more and more doable. In this video, I'm going to show you how small changes can lead to big environmental impacts, even in the heart of a city. We'll explore simple, actionable tips on how to reduce waste without feeling overwhelmed. We'll dive into things like how to transform your apartment into an eco-friendly haven, how to commute without hurting the planet, and how to socialize while keeping waste to a minimum. Stick with me, and I'll share ideas you might not have considered, because the truth is, a sustainable city life is within reach, even for the busiest urbanite. Stay tuned. Chapter 1: Urban Jungle or Wasteland. Reimagining city living. Living sustainably in a city often feels like an uphill battle. Between towering skyscrapers, crowded streets, and endless stores, it can be hard to imagine low-waste living as anything more than a distant dream. But it's not impossible. Cities, despite their wasteful reputation, offer unique opportunities for innovation and change. In fact, more cities are taking steps towards sustainability every day. Take New York, for instance. According to the NYC Department of Environmental Protection, the city recycles over 20% of its total waste, but that number could be even higher with the right efforts. Recycling and waste management aren't just about the environment, they're about building a stronger community. You can contribute to this movement even in your apartment. It starts with understanding that every action counts. That small step toward reducing your carbon footprint adds up. But how do you begin? Look around your apartment. Is it cluttered with plastic? Start by swapping out plastic for reusable items. Simple choices like switching to reusable bags or using glass containers instead of plastic can make a huge difference. These may seem like small gestures, but they are powerful. Think about the things you throw away every day. Consider them for a moment: packaging, single-use items, or old electronics. What if you started rethinking these items? Every time you choose an alternative to single-use plastic, you're helping reduce waste. Simple things like using a bamboo toothbrush or buying products in bulk instead of individually wrapped can instantly cut down on what ends up in landfills. By adopting these small changes, you'll also see that they don't just benefit the planet, they'll benefit you too. You'll save money, reduce stress from clutter, and feel more connected to the world around you. As you make these changes, you'll realize that living sustainably in an urban setting isn't as hard as it seems. The key is in making small, conscious decisions every day. Chapter 2: Greening your apartment. Small steps for big change. Your apartment can be a green oasis, even in the middle of a concrete jungle. It all starts with small changes that add up over time. The goal isn't to overhaul your life overnight, but to gradually incorporate sustainability into your daily habits. For example, did you know that indoor plants can help improve air quality? According to NASA's Clean Air Study, certain plants like the spider plant and peace lily remove toxins and improve air circulation. Not only will your apartment feel more vibrant, but you'll breathe easier, too. If you're ready to go even further, consider investing in energy-efficient appliances. Replacing an old fridge with an Energy Star rated model could save you over $300 per year in energy costs. It's an upfront investment, but the long-term savings are undeniable. Plus, the planet will thank you for it. Another effective strategy is to tackle water waste. Did you know that the average person uses about 80,100 gallons of water a day? Installing low-flow showerheads and faucets can reduce water consumption by up to 50%. That's a huge savings, both in terms of your utility bills and the environment. Another way to green your apartment is by reducing packaging waste. Start buying in bulk or opting for products with minimal packaging. The idea is simple: the less packaging you buy, the less you throw away. And if you can, make the switch to reusable containers for your food. You might be surprised by how easy it is to cut down on waste once you start thinking creatively. Don't forget about the power of decluttering. Less stuff means less waste. By donating old clothes, gadgets, and furniture instead of tossing them out, you're giving them a second life and reducing landfill waste. A study from the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, found that nearly 30% of landfill waste comes from clothing and textiles. By rethinking what we discard, we can make a real impact. Chapter 3: Zero Waste on the Go. Navigating the urban maze. Living sustainably doesn't have to stop once you leave your apartment. In fact, navigating city life with a zero-waste mindset is where the real challenge begins. The city is filled with convenience, but that often comes with a cost: disposable packaging, plastic utensils, and wasteful habits. So, how do you tackle it? Start by carrying a zero-waste kit. A reusable water bottle, a set of stainless steel utensils, and a cloth napkin can replace single-use plastic bottles and cutlery. The key here is to be prepared. For example, instead of grabbing a plastic straw at your local coffee shop, keep a reusable one in your bag. The same goes for shopping. Bring your own reusable bags or totes to avoid the ubiquitous plastic bags handed out by stores. When it comes to food, try supporting restaurants or cafes that have eco-friendly practices. Many places now offer discounts if you bring your own container or cup, which helps reduce waste. You might also find that a lot of eateries are embracing compostable packaging, a step forward in reducing environmental impact. For those who rely on delivery, there's an opportunity to make an impact too. Opt for services that focus on sustainability or ask for your meal to be packaged in eco-friendly materials. A surprising statistic is that the global food delivery market is expected to reach $200 billion by 2025, so our choices can really drive change. Another interesting twist on zero-waste city living is urban foraging. Believe it or not, you can forage for food in many cities. From fruit trees in public parks to edible weeds, urban foraging is an opportunity to connect with the land and reduce the need for packaged goods. Local foraging groups are popping up everywhere, teaching people how to find wild edibles while following sustainable practices. And when you're on the move, biking or walking instead of driving can drastically cut down your carbon footprint. In fact, a 2020 report found that if everyone who commutes by car in the US switched to biking for just one day a week, we'd reduce carbon emissions by over 50 million metric tons a year. By integrating these small, mindful habits into your daily life, you'll quickly realize that living sustainably in the city doesn't have to be a sacrifice. In fact, it can be fun, rewarding, and surprisingly simple. Just start with one change at a time and watch how the city becomes a more sustainable place, one step at a time. If you're enjoying these tips, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You won't want to miss out on more easy and practical tips for living sustainably in the city. Chapter 4: Public Transport to Personal Triumph. How commuting can be green. Commuting in the city doesn't have to contribute to pollution and waste. In fact, switching to public transport or other sustainable modes of travel can significantly reduce your environmental footprint. Public transportation is a key factor in reducing a city's carbon emissions. A study by the American Public Transportation Association, APTA, found that public transit in the US saves over 37 million metric tons of carbon dioxide each year, equivalent to removing over 8 million cars off the road. But let's talk about how you can make a difference. If you're someone who drives a car, consider leaving it at home and opting for buses, trains, or subways. These modes of transport use far less energy per passenger compared to private vehicles. Plus, many cities are making strides in offering eco-friendly public transport options, like electric buses and energy-efficient subway trains. If public transportation isn't your thing, cycling is an excellent alternative. According to a report from the League of American Bicyclists, cycling reduces greenhouse gas emissions and improves air quality. It's a win-win: healthier you, cleaner air, and fewer emissions. You might even find that biking gets you places faster, especially in gridlocked areas where traffic is a constant struggle. Walking is another underappreciated mode of transport. You may not realize it, but walking can have a huge impact on both your health and the environment. The CDC reports that walking for just 30 minutes a day can reduce the risk of heart disease and boost mental health. And when it comes to the planet, every step you take is one less car trip contributing to pollution. You might wonder how much of an impact these choices can truly make. A report from the US Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, showed that a person who uses public transportation for just one round trip a day can reduce their annual carbon footprint by over 1,500 pounds. That's a huge reduction when you think about it. By choosing more sustainable commuting options, you'll not only be helping the planet, you'll also be setting an example for others. Cities can't go green without the support of their people, and every small action adds up to make a big difference. Chapter 5. Waste-free socializing. Sustainable fun in the city. Being socially active in the city doesn't have to mean leaving a trail of waste behind. In fact, socializing with a sustainable mindset is becoming easier, with more options than ever for eco-friendly activities. Start by looking at where you're spending your time. Restaurants and cafes, for example, have started embracing greener practices. In 2021, the global market for sustainable restaurants grew by 7.5%, with eco-conscious consumers driving demand for compostable materials, reusable cups, and sustainable sourcing. Next time you go out to eat, consider choosing a restaurant that emphasizes zero waste or sustainable food practices. Many cities now have eco-friendly cafes that serve locally sourced organic food, minimizing both your waste and your carbon footprint. And many restaurants are offering discounts for customers who bring their own containers or cups for takeout, which is a great way to reduce disposable packaging. If you're hosting a gathering, try to make it a waste-free event. Instead of using disposable plates, cups, and utensils, opt for reusable options. Stainless steel or bamboo utensils are perfect for outdoor events. Cloth napkins can be reused multiple times, saving trees and reducing landfill waste. Did you know that if every American household reduced their use of disposable plates, forks, and cups by just one per week, it would eliminate over 300 million pounds of plastic waste each year? Beyond food and drink, sustainable socializing also means choosing entertainment options that are less resource-intensive. For instance, try swapping out a night out at a bar for a potluck dinner with friends, or organizing an eco-friendly movie night where everyone brings their own reusable containers for popcorn and snacks. The beauty of these activities is that they still allow you to connect with others while keeping waste to a minimum. You can even make a positive impact with your choice of social venues. Many cities have established zero-waste bars and clubs where every effort is made to reduce waste, from biodegradable drink straws to using recycled materials for decor. These businesses are an excellent example of how the entertainment industry is shifting towards sustainability. Socializing sustainably doesn't mean sacrificing fun, it's about making small changes to your habits that add up over time. So next time you plan a get-together or an outing, think about how you can reduce waste while still having a good time. Chapter 6. Recycling reinvented. Rethinking waste disposal in the concrete jungle. Recycling in the city is essential, but it's time to rethink how we do it. While many cities have basic recycling programs, there's still much room for improvement. The truth is, only about 34% of plastic is recycled in the US, and the rest ends up in landfills or the ocean. This is where individual actions can make a real difference. If everyone took responsibility for their own waste, the impact would be far-reaching. A great first step is knowing what can and can't be recycled. Many urban dwellers throw items into the recycling bin that can't be recycled, leading to contamination. Did you know that a single pizza box with grease on it can't be recycled? Or that only specific types of plastic are recyclable? Understanding your local recycling rules is key to ensuring you're actually helping the planet rather than sending your recyclables to the landfill. But recycling isn't the only solution, it's part of the larger waste hierarchy, which also includes reducing and reusing. Start by reducing your consumption of single-use items, and focus on purchasing products with minimal packaging. It's always better to avoid waste in the first place. Reuse items whenever you can, whether it's repurposing glass jars for storage or buying second-hand instead of new. The less you buy, the less you throw away. Another important aspect of waste disposal is composting. Many urban areas now offer curbside composting programs, allowing you to recycle your food scraps into nutrient-rich soil. This reduces the amount of organic waste that ends up in landfills, where it contributes to methane emissions. In fact, composting can divert up to 30% of waste from landfills, which is a big win for the environment. If composting isn't available in your area, you can still compost at home. Urban composting can be done even in small apartments using countertop compost bins or worm composting. These methods are easy to manage and can greatly reduce the waste you produce while providing you with rich compost for gardening. Innovative recycling programs are also popping up in cities worldwide. Some cities have introduced pay-as-you-throw schemes, where residents are charged based on the amount of waste they generate, encouraging them to reduce their consumption. Other places are testing machine-based recycling systems, where users can deposit recyclables and earn rewards or credits. These efforts prove that with creativity and initiative, waste disposal can be more efficient and more rewarding. Recycling in the city isn't just about sorting your trash, it's about being mindful of the full life cycle of the products you use. By embracing a circular economy mindset, you can contribute to a system where resources are reused, not discarded. The more people that get involved in this shift, the closer we come to a zero-waste future in the concrete jungle. If you've enjoyed these ideas and tips, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've only scratched the surface of how you can make sustainable living easy in the city. There's much more to come.